I'm William Kumwembe, and this is Business Time on Times Television, a magazine program where we bring you major business and economic news stories making headlines in the country. And in the program today, African Development Bank launches regional financial facility, and farmers express mixed reaction to Tobacco Act. We have these and other stories. Stay tuned. Hello and welcome. In our main story today, the African Development Bank, AFDB, on Wednesday launched the African Digital Financial Inclusion Facility, designed to aid safety and expansion of digital financial transactions in Africa. The fund, which was launched at the bank's annual meetings in Malabo, Equatorial Guinea, is supported by the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, among other sponsors. Our journalist, Taonga Sabola, is there and caught up with some of the officials.
What's to be done is to create an interoperable platform that interconnects all of the players in the market, banks, mobile money providers, merchants, in a very efficient payment platform that makes it possible for the people to obtain very easily an account and transact with it, be it with a merchant or a bank, or receive money from the government.
And Malawi's temporary alternate governor at the meeting is Betty Ngoma.
Indeed, as rightly point out, the meetings have started, the 54th annual meeting of the African Development Bank and the 45th meeting of the African Development Fund. These meetings are important because they afford us an opportunity as shareholders as well as Board of Governors of the African Development Bank to provide strategic direction and guidance to the bank management team, assess progress that has been made over the past year, but at the same time also provide feedback to the bank in terms of how we want to see things move, particularly implementation of the various programs and projects at country level, including Malawi. At the same time, also these meetings provide a platform where we meet a wide range of stakeholders, including other countries, where we're able to share experiences in terms of the challenges that they're facing and how they're able to resolve, and also the challenges that we face and how we're also resolving. We also have an opportunity to meet with development partners and other development finance institutions where we're able to lobby for resources. So it's indeed important, and particularly for this meeting, it has provided us an opportunity that we can also advance priorities for us, but also raise concerns in as far as certain issues are concerned. And of particular importance at this meeting is the issue of raising the general capital increase for the African Development Fund. And therefore we've been able to add our voice in terms of what we think ought to happen, and also in terms of the levels of the capital that has also to be raised. So in particular, I think it's important that we were here and be able to present the situation as it pertains.
Economics Association of Malawi, ECAMA, a grouping of economists in the country, has lamented misrepresentation of economic data in some instances by some stakeholders, saying it is affecting interpretation. ECAMA Executive Director Maleka Tula said this in Lilongwe on Tuesday at a workshop his organization co-organized with JTI Malawi for economists, financial variable data reporting and research experts. Tula explains in this interview with our journalist Chimwemwe Mangazi.
This event was organized to gather together experts, economic experts from various fields, various sectors of the economy, just to brainstorm on the key indicators that are needed for us as an economy to assess the robustness or health of the economy. So we observed with the JTI as our partners that we do not have ready statistics or indicators that will tell business community in terms of how the economy is performing. And we know for sure that if the business community is equipped with that knowledge, they'll be able to make decisions, good decisions, in as far as their businesses are concerned. In the meeting, the key issues coming out are that most required data is not available, and perhaps there were also concerns that some economic indicators seem to be misreported. Whilst we might celebrate that all is rosy, but if you look at the various sectors of the economy, be it financial sector, fiscal sector, external sector, and the national accounts, if you assess these sectors, various sectors of the economy, you find that they don't talk to each other, meaning that theoretically or in economics, we believe that when the national account is doing well, that is an account of units of production in the economy measured by GDP. When we report that the economy is growing, what we expect to see is that the external sector has to be robust. We expect the fiscal sector to be robust. We also expect that the external sector has to be robust. All these sectors have to talk to each other. But you find that, for example, we've been observing or have been hearing that the economy has been growing at least for the past 5 years or so. We have had 4% growth on average, but if you look at the levels of poverty have been increasing. You look at the inequalities over the years have been increasing. So the question is, are we really growing at the rates that we're reporting? So those are the questions that the participants were questioning and in fact interrogating the data. This boils down to the issues of quality of data. Is our data of high quality? Is our data correct? And this also gives us or takes us to independence of the data compilers. People were questioning to say, are the data compilers, NSO, Reserve Bank, MRA, are they independent from the government authorities? If you look at all these institutions, they all in one way or directly or indirectly report to the Minister of Finance. So people were asking that, is the kind of reporting and compilation of our data correct? Is the data that we have correct, up to date? So those were the issues that we have been brainstorming, and alternative ways have been suggested to see how best as a country we could compile good data and how best as a country we could report on data. And also participants noted that there is some kind of deficiency or deficit in terms of understanding of economic indicators or economic data. So as ECAM ourselves, we are geared to fill that gap, to be providing refresher courses on how to interpret and report on economic data.
And JTI Malawi Corporate Affairs and Communication Director Limbani Kakome says the training was timely.
We are a long-standing corporate member of ECAMA, and one of the key things we require as a business is to consume economic data. This helps us in planning, forecasting, and all those kind of business elements that one needs to do. Since we came into Malawi, we found it challenging to find credible economic data. And we've been working with ECAMA since last year to develop a dashboard of key indicators that a business like ourselves can use. But the ultimate goal is to have credible data that is provided by ECAMA to its members and to the public. So it's a project that we're working with ECAMA as part of our corporate responsibility to build credible economic data that is timely, that can be used by various aspects of community and society. So today was trying to take stock to say what data is available out there, who generates it, is it credible, and if it's not credible, what can be done to make sure that the data is robust and people can rely on it. So we thought of inviting ECAMA and bringing in experts from various economic fields to sit down with us, first of all to look inside our business needs, but also to have the broader view of what would society in general need. So I think it was a very good workshop, hearing of all the challenges and the potential that is out there in terms of economic data management. So the way forward is that there's been a list of macro and microeconomic data that we discussed. The next step is to map out together with the experts whether this data is available, where you can source it, and how it can be collated into one repository on a regular basis for people to consume and use it in different ways.
Remember, this is Business Time right here on Times Television, a magazine program where we'll bring you major business and economic news stories making headlines in the country and beyond. My name is William Kumwembe. We'll be right back in a moment. Welcome back. Tobacco farmers continue reacting to the new Tobacco Industry Act, which others are saying some provisions need revision. Some tobacco farmers in Zomba district have described the act as ideal in safeguarding the interests of farmers, but they say some areas needed further scrutiny. The observation came out during a stakeholders outreach program organized by regulator Tobacco Commission. We have the detail in this report.
Among other things, the farmers we spoke to on the sidelines lamented low prices the leaf has been fetching over the years, saying not much is said on how to protect them. One of the farmers, Michael Daniel, said some of the provisions need to be revised. Reacting, TC Corporate Planning and Development Manager Herings Nasoni defended the act, arguing that some of the complaints are coming due to a misunderstanding.
This year we took to the farmers the message of how the Tobacco Commission is going to carry the 2019-2020 season, but also to highlight the new laws that have been passed by Parliament, which were published on 22nd February this year, 2019, to isolate main areas that affect the farmers, but for them also to get prepared that with these new laws, with these new regulations, the farmer is guaranteed of more protection than he was before, because it tackles many areas through the tobacco value chain, from production to marketing, and it handles, also it tackles various players within the tobacco sector to make sure that the farmer is fully protected.
The Tobacco Industry Act was gazetted on February 22, 2019, following the repeal of Tobacco Act and Control of Auction Flows Act. Tobacco remains the mainstay of Malawi's economy. This year, tobacco market demands stands at 151 million kilograms, and the country is expected to produce nearly 205 million kgs of the leaf.
And one of the country's courier services provider, Speed Courier, says survival of the company has been solely based on its strategy to focus on delivering affordable services. Chimwemwe Mangazi caught up with Speed Courier Chief Executive Officer Sokib Malik.
Right now, we are just trying to expand our businesses in sense of that service. You know, our main aim and target was the service, right? And on that points, we have just opened a new branch in Blantyre. Before, we had a branch in Limby, and it's just about few weeks ago. The reason was that we wanted to give the access and the opportunity to residents of Blantyre, and mostly our customers who are in the small vendors and others, they are based in Blantyre areas. So they have a good access to our office in Blantyre. And now we are going to plan to open another branch in Zomba, which will be probably done this before end of this month. And after then we are going to northern side, Kronga. So after then, almost we will cover all area of country. That's good. Somehow the economists, they are trying to stabilize the country's economy. Even the government previously, they have tried their best to stabilize our foreign exchange, and they have established the infrastructures. There are so many infrastructure is going on, and it is giving the support to the business community and business entrepreneurs, especially the small business entrepreneur. So we have the opportunity of that, and we hope that because of these measurements, country's economy will grow, and we are trying also on that basis. That and this is, this logistic is the backbone of the any business, because if you have a fast movement and if you have a affordable and reliable movement on the logistics, then it's good for the business. Because if you see every business, the main is the logistics. How your logistic is cheaper and affordable, then if you have a cheaper and affordable logistics and movement in the courier and transportation, then it means that your prices should be under control. This business is a challengeable business. It's not as easy because it's especially your transport is your fleets is on the road on 24 hours. So we have faces some of the areas like where there's the roads are not good. Our vehicles and our transportation and courier is affected because of that. Some areas where the areas are not secured with the entrance of the other animals and other things. So it is the possibility that it can be hit by some of the unexpected things, stones and the other. So it is a challenge job, but we are trying our best to be continuing on that. You know that investment and expenses in developing countries, especially our countries, is a bit expensive. So everything is imported. So if you have to put anything, even it's nails or something, it is imported. So the expenses are a bit high. But we hope that because of that new, with the expansion of the businesses and promoting of the business opportunity, hopefully we will cover it. The exact figures we can't say because it's with the accounts. There's so many our departments which is involved in that. But you can say this is millions of investment in hundreds of millions. The future is good because that we can make the future through this business, not for us but for our other business community. As I said earlier, that if you provide a good service and fast service on the logistics, that it means that you can give the opportunity to other business entrepreneurs. Just for example, that if somebody is going to establish a shop in the remote areas, they wanted to be establish their businesses, but they don't have the transportation in the cheap, then or they don't have the secure logistics. If we provide them this opportunity, automatically their business will grow. When their business will grow, our business will also grow because the movement will be faster.
Well, with that story, we've also come to the end of today's edition of the program Business Time, right here on Times Television, a magazine program where we bring you major business and economic news stories making headlines in the country and beyond. On behalf of the entire production team, my name is William Kumwembe. But always remember, if it doesn't make money, it doesn't make sense. Bye for now.